Hi, Room 422. As promised, here is your weekend YouTube update. And one thing I was thinking about from the school week was how we discussed dynamic and static characters using The Tiger Rising. I never leave home without my copy of The Tiger Rising. And if you remember, a dynamic character is a character who changes throughout a story. And we know that Rob and Sistine are dynamic because they've changed. In particular, Rob, who at the beginning of the book was emotionless. And now we're starting to see, as he meets Sistine, he's becoming happy. And Kate DiCamillo talks about his suitcase opening. And you can tell your parents that the suitcase is a symbol for his emotions that he likes to lock up and hide. But he's starting to open up in the book. A static character would be someone like Beauchamp, who I guarantee you, he will never change throughout the story. He will be miserable, mean, awful throughout the remainder of the book. And maybe you can tell your parents why we described him that way, especially when he takes Rob to see the tiger in the woods that he owns. The other thing, oh my goodness, can I read a little bit of the last chapter we read? And remember, Sistine was upset. She wants to release the tiger, and they're in the woods together. And Rob begins to think about his mom. And remember, she was shaking the cage and she was becoming really upset. I'm going to read that part at the end of the chapter that we enjoyed so much. He stood beside her, terrified and amazed. When his mother was alive, when he still cried about things, she had been the one who comforted him. She would cup her hand around the back of his neck and say to him, "You go on and cry. I got you. I got good hold of you." Before Rob could think whether it was right or whether it was wrong, he reached out and put his palm on Sistine's neck. He could feel her pulse beating in time with the tiger's pacing. He whispered to her the same words his mother had whispered to him. "I got you," he told her. "I've got good hold of you." Sistine cried and cried. She cried as if she would never stop. And she did not tell him to take his hand away. Rob has changed. He's happy, dynamic character. Last thing we should talk about. On Friday at the end of the school day, we reviewed the book Weslandia. And we know, just like the ancient Egyptians, Wesley in the story creates his own civilization. And your job starting Monday will be to create your own civilization. And I showed you the book that you're going to be working through to do that. Remember, the first thing you need to think of is your staple crop. To start any civilization, you need a staple food crop. So the ancient Egyptians, their staple food crop were grains, like corn and wheat and barley and things like that. Be thinking of that. Be thinking of where you're going to put your civilization. It can be fictional, and then you're going to create a map. And from there, you have to create government. You have to create a money system. You have to create jobs and products that support the people in your civilization. So, I've gone over a minute, so this won't be as short like you taught me. Hope you're having a great weekend and can't wait to see you on Monday. Take care, everyone.